Like, do you know how many centimeters I was dilated? And after being there, I was honestly like at 10 in like the next 10 minutes. Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of the series that I'm doing, and like I mentioned before, it is a few videos surrounding Michaela, including her birth story, my teen pregnancy experience, my birth story, and I guess life after. So today's video is going to talk right about my birth story, and like I've mentioned before in my first video, I did share a video about this, and maybe I kind of clumped it all together, but these kind of videos are actually going to help to keep it more uniform, especially for those of you who are new to our channel and don't quite have a clue who I am, what we are, and how we got here. So, jumping into my birth story. It was a dark and stormy night. Actually, it was dark, but it wasn't stormy. So just a little bit of a recap, like I explained to you guys when I got pregnant, how things happened. And following that, after, telling my parents and whatnot, life progressed, and I discovered that I had gestational diabetes. And at some point, my doctor had told me that I was going to have a C-section at like 5 months. She's like,
girl, you're gonna have a C-section. This baby is like so big at 5 months.
Actually, no, my baby was big at 5 months, and she did say I was gonna have a C-section. I guess she just didn't say it like that. And being young and naive, I was so scared to say otherwise. I was scared to question her. She's a doctor. She would know, right? So I just kind of went along with the flow, and I listened to her, and I was thinking, I heard for the next, y'all, I was like 5 months pregnant at this point. So at this point, I think I was going for monthly appointments. And then when you get to the end, like 36 weeks or something, you go like every week. So you can only imagine, right? Like I've had C-section ingrained in my head over and over and over and over. And yeah, that's all I thought. And I was scared and nervous, but at the same time, I think I was scared and nervous to push up my baby just the same. The day finally came when I was feeling all these pains, and I was feeling slight cramps and stuff before, but I didn't think much of it. What are you doing? I basically kind of labored downstairs in bed, just rolling around. I didn't think much of it. I was thinking maybe Braxton Hicks, I'm not sure. I do have a high pain tolerance, so it took a lot to get me to the hospital. Hubby was at school, and he was at university, and his university was an hour away almost. He took the bus, and I had to pick him up at the bus terminal. So long story short, I labored all day, and then the time came to pick him up at the bus terminal. All types of things happened that night. A hobo came and asked me for money, gave him that. Like, I was so bored out of my mind waiting at this bus stop for him while I'm in pain. And I learned that hubby missed the bus, so then I had to wait for like another 45 minutes. Yeah, it was just an eventful night. Anyways, he finally comes, and I'm already irritated because I'm in a lot of pain, and he didn't drive at the time. Yes, y'all, I just said it. He did not have his license when I met him. I'm the one who drove, so I was driving with this big old belly, driving, to go pick him up from the bus terminal, and I was in labor pain. So this is like, at this point, this story is just like ridiculous. I'm driving, and I keep having contractions, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, ugh, this hurts. And then he's like, Sarah, I think you're in labor. And I'm like, no, I think it's Braxton Hicks, okay? Like, you don't know, you ain't pregnant, you don't know about... So I drove, I was like, I'm starving. Can we make sure we get something on the way home? Probably said it with a little bit more attitude because I was just in a lot of pain. And then we stopped and got pizza. And we were also, I think we were in like some kind of argument because at this point I had like adopted this bunny rabbit from this person. And this bunny rabbit wasn't like priority at the current moment. We were talking about that, or rather arguing. As we stopped, we picked up pizza, and then we got home, and he was in the garage. Aaron was in the garage trying to deal with that rabbit. I brought the pizza inside, and I was just in a lot of pain. I remember just slapping the pizza down on the counter, like, huh, hovering over the counter, kind of rocking back and forth. And I'm like, this flipping hurts. At that particular moment, I don't know what happened, but I got a message from the gods that said,
eat the toppings off the pizza.
And I did. I literally stood there and I ate all the toppings off the pizza. When Aaron came back, he's like, Sarah, where's the pizza? And I ate she's nursing, y'all. I ate all the toppings off the pizza. And it was a large pizza too. That was terrible. At this point, we were staying at my parents'. So I just went to my room in the basement. They had like a really nice finished basement. So we were down there. I'm laboring and I'm in pain. And at some point I went to the washroom and I lost my mucus plug. And I was still thinking, I think because I knew I was going to have a C-section at this point, I was still kind of clueless. I'm like, okay, like I knew that was my mucus plug, but what do I do at this point? After watching A Baby Story so many times, I knew that I didn't want to go to the hospital early. So I'm thinking, okay, like I know I'm in labor now. It's official. Before I was fooling myself thinking it was Braxton Hicks, but now I know it's true labor. And like, what am I going to do? Well, what I ended up doing was prolonging the inevitable. I knew this baby was coming, but I thought, wait a second, she ain't coming now because I'm not in real pain. Like, I don't know what pain I was waiting for. But this was a lot of pain. Like, I was in pain, but I was handling it. I was breathing, I was rolling around, and I was basically kneeling on the bed and kneeling on the stair. I was kneeling everywhere, and Aaron kept saying, I think you need to go to the hospital. Then I was like, no, I'm not ready to go because I'm not in, like, I don't think it's real labor. Like, we'll see when the pain hits me. Like, I really don't know what level of pain I was in search of. Get dropped off at Emerge, get wheeled in, and then they knew I was in labor. They asked questions, and then they checked me out. Y'all, do you know how many centimeters I was dilated? I was already 9 centimeters dilated. Like, I don't even know. At this point, and after being there, I was honestly like at 10 in like the next 10 minutes. So that was kind of crazy. I labored the entire time at home, not even realizing that like it was full on labor. They said, I see that you're scheduled for a C-section because honestly, she came early. She came the 3rd of April, but my section was scheduled for like April 13th because her real due date was actually April 17th. They asked me like, what do you want to do? Do you want to try natural labor? And at this point I was like, oh no, heck no. Like, I was so freaked out, not just by what my doctor told me that I was going to have a baby, that I was going to have a C-section, but she also told me like all the scares that could happen with that. The baby could get stuck because it's a big baby, and she was, okay guys, she was 9 pounds 12 ounces, and that was her born at 2 weeks early. So she was a big baby, but she scared me. She told me, oh, she could get stuck in the birth canal. You could end up getting be put at risk, both you and baby. Like, she just told me a whole bunch of stuff that didn't sound pleasant or just like something you wouldn't even want to experience. So I was just like, no. And I was just terrified at this point. Not only am I young, and was I terrified of like the idea that I'm going to have to push out this baby. Now I'm told this baby's extra large and in charge. And so I was like, no, I can't. So long story short, I opted for the C-section. Had I known then what I know now, I would have just gone and pushed out my child, but I didn't. I was young, I was naive, I didn't quite understand that I even had a say. It was just like, oh, the doctor is the doctor, they know what is best, and they are right. So that's what ended up happening. So I had my C-section, and I failed to tell y'all that with this pregnancy, I gained a whole 100 pounds. I did gain an entire person. That's the reference I always make. Every time I say I gained 100 person, I always have to follow it with I gained a whole person, because that was a lot of weight. I literally wore like this brown beigeish tracksuit, and I did have a few maternity pants and a few tops. Like I felt like I just didn't want to buy any more maternity clothes. I was over it after gaining like 50, 60 pounds. I was just like, this ain't right. So I had the baby, had my C-section. It went well. However, the baby had to be in the NICU because of low blood sugars. And today, like I said, now that I'm a grown 30-year-old woman, I'm what, 33? I now know the reason why. I know the reason why I had, why she was put in the NICU, because of the pizza that I ate. Having more awareness is, this is my 4th pregnancy, and at each pregnancy I've developed gestational diabetes, so I'm more aware and more knowledgeable about the whole gestational diabetes. So now I'm aware that because I ate all that saltiness and all the carbs from the pizza, so quickly due close by my C-section. Obviously it spikes the baby's blood sugar, and when she comes out, then her blood sugar falls. So I understand it now, because when I was in labor, and even though I had gestational diabetes, I was in so much pain, I was just hungry, and all the stuff like didn't even occur to me, oh, go take your insulin. I was just like, let me just eat the toppings on this pizza, and that is what I did. And yeah, so she was born and put in the NICU for, what, 3 days? 2 days. And yeah, that just kind of even messed up with my nursing, because I wasn't able to nurse while she was there. And I was trying to pump because my milk wasn't quite in yet, because she was born 2 weeks early. And she got accustomed to being nursed with a bottle while she was in the NICU. It was just like a bit of a... From there, I'm going to end this video right here, and I'm going to ask you to check out part 3, which I am going to post to talk about life after baby, continuing from here on. Leave a comment down below and just let me know that you're enjoying my little series here. So thank y'all for watching, guys, and much love. Much love, guys.